So, now it's the time of the round table, which is not a round, it is not a table. There are many, 1, 2, 3, 4 tables, small ones. So, I would like to ask Mr. Andriy Matai, advisor to the Prime Minister for Information Society. Welcome. Mr. Jerzy Jinko, welcome, who is Director of Cabinet Ministry of Innovation and ICT. Mr. Rapai, we have met before, thank you. Welcome again. Dimitris Vlatsios, CEO of ADC. Καλησπέρα. Hello. Mr. Ditlov Mare, CEO of Vodafone Albania. Welcome. Please. Mr. Orhan Çoskun, CEO of ALB Telecom and Eagle Mobile. Hello. Please sit down. Mr. Julien Coustory, CEO of Plus. Mr. Artan, no, he's not there. Mr. Artan Dulak, he has another obligation and he will not be with us. Mr. Alban Yaho, General Director of DigiLab, which is not here also. And Mr. Jendi Daci, CEO, Upcom. Hello. Please sit down. And I'll take my place also. No, it's better to see everybody. So, first of all, I would like a more general question and we'll improvise on that. We're witnessing a great technology evolution. Everybody here today talked about it. Even a revolution in some fields. There are significant changes in every sector. How many of them you have already implemented or you will implement soon in your company or organization? Let's start from the number 1, please. Okay. It's green since it's working, no? Some technical support, Mr. Nostis? Another one. Okay. Okay. This one is working. And we will have to switch off this one also. Okay.
Okay. So hello everyone, and I'm delighted to be part of this very high-level panel. The Albanian government, as you have probably noticed in the past 7 years, has put as top priority the development of the information and communication technology field in the country. From its perspective, the Albanian government has invested a lot in terms of information systems for the government services, including a wide range of government initiatives, where I can emphasize here the major project in terms of technology, which is the e-procurement system, a world-winning system from the United Nations used to procure all government procurement procedure in the country. The e-tax system, as well as the business registration system. So this, the goal of the government initiative in this area was to fight the corruption in the public administration, foster the transparency of the government services to the business and to the public, and of course raise the efficiency of the government institutions and the the government public workers. So on the other side, we've taken several initiatives in terms of regulating the market from the institutional standpoint as well as from the regulatory standpoint. We have now at the government level a Minister for Innovation and ICT, as well as several institutions under him, starting from the National Information Society Agency, the Post Office, the ACCHA, and so on and so forth. As well as a new regulatory framework also in collaboration with the regulatory bodies ACEP. We have the new law for electronic communication in 2008, which was lately last month amended according to the European Union 2009 regulatory framework, as well as certain initiative in terms in collaboration with the regulator to foster competition in the market and to boost investments. What I've seen so far is that we've had a major leap, I wouldn't say quantum leap, in terms of the infrastructure in the telecom sector. So now we have 4 mobile operators, 1 incumbent operator, as well as more than, I would say, about 80 alternative operators around the country. We have boosted the fiber infrastructure. We're about to boost the international internet capacity for Albania. As of today, Albania is
national capacity.
National and international. For international. So as of today, Albania is connected with Kosovo with 100 gigabits per second connectivity on fiber network, which will be able to provide to the market on a wholesale basis internet connectivity for all the players. And as of today, let's say we have about 30 gigabits per second total capacity. This will be able to boost that capacity to up to 170 gigabits per second. So if this is one of the intervention from the government perspective in terms of to lower the internet capacity in the country. So I'll stop here and I'll try to proceed. Yeah, okay.
Okay. So, what has the Information Society to say about that?
Yes, and we make easier my speech, and
Because it has
despite
so many,
despite the challenge of the afternoon session, as always, and the last session, we feel a little bit after a little bit wine and food warm up and challenging the temperature of this room. Sometimes feel not very warm. But regarding the development of the digital agenda in Albania, like in other countries, it's a huge opportunity and amazing chance to reach the development and social economic development. And just to mention that today in the world there are more than 6 billion phones, mobile phones, and more than 2.4 billion internet users in June 2011. And out of 7.5 billion, 7.2 billion world population means how much the life of the people has changed using ICT. So this reflects our job and our responsibility to think on this and to shape our future based on ICT, to take in the maximum consideration these wonderful tools like the internet and ICT all around. Minister mentioned today, in the morning session all the achievements in the legal, institutional, organizational and practical achievements we did during this period since 2009, April 2009, when he was in charge to be Minister for Innovation and ICT. I'm not going here, and Henry mentioned also some of them. What I'd like to say now that we are now in this situation, and I'd like to pose the question: what's the biggest challenge for all of us here? Mm-hmm. I'm very happy to be here with the respected CEOs of all the companies and too many other CEOs from the other ICT companies here. It's a chance to talk, and it's a rare chance. I've never have a chance to be with so many CEOs of the business here. I know they are very busy people, like we as politicians we are, but we have more time to go to the meetings and the gathering. The business has less time on this. And
also for us, to have you all here.
Absolutely, thank you very much. And really, I think that this initiative has to be multiplied, and we have to come together with more more frequent meetings and more frequent gatherings, not only in the CEO and CIO level, but also in the expert level. Because things are complex, especially in ICT, and the solutions are complex. They cannot come only from the government side or from the business side. They can come together. So we have to sit together in the maximum of opportunities, discuss, exchange communication, information, discuss solutions, and find common ground for developing proper policy and proper strategy and proper implementation. So I think this is a challenge, and the biggest challenge is concretely to increase the internet demand in Albania. 2 years ago, 1 year ago, we had a problem, big problem, the connectivity with abroad. Now, this year, with the investment of Live Telecom, and now with the news today and the other news, there is no more this challenge at all. The challenge is to increase the demand in order to avoid any market failure. A lot of investments in the network, in the broadband has been done in the last 2 years from foreign and Albanian companies. We need to fit the system, we need to increase the user of the internet, we need to make the ICT a real tool to change the life of the people. Not only in Tirana and in Durrës and the main towns, but in the rest of the country. Still, the half of the population in Albania live in the rural areas. The half of the population, the highest percentage of the population in Europe is one of the highest in the world. And we have to think on this. The digital gap is large. So the next challenge from the government, after the very successful implementation that we did in the e-governance system in the main application in the central level, we need to disseminate and to delegate and to transfer all this achievement in the center in the municipality, in the rural municipality and urban municipality. They must be promoted, ICT must be promoted in the local level, and local people has to benefit from this. That's a challenge. So promotion, coming together with a solution, coming with investments on this. And I think we need to come with some pilot project to demonstrate clearly to the government, to the donors. We had 2 big donors representatives today, USAID and EU Albania, European Union in Albania, that we clearly need to make this project because they are changing life, they are beneficiating the life of the people, and they are giving a lot of incentives for the economic development. Broadband and ICT sector is one of the best sector for investment and for growth. We have to put emphasis more on this. And I'm stopping here because I know that there is a very nice area to talk and to see what the advantages of our work. We are happy, we are lucky to be working in this time for such a wonderful sector.
That's very, very true. That's very, very true. Mr. Ablanian.
Okay, I think regarding the question, it was about the services or technologies, new services provided, and I think the role of the regulator in this question is a bit easier because we leave the market players to provide the services and technologies, and also the government providing the e-government services. But TKEP has seen the role more like a facilitator to incentivize operators to provide these services to the market. As we mentioned in our presentation, we tried on the always a bit late maybe from a market player's point of view, the introduction of local loop unbundling services, and I think very soon also bitstream services for broadband, and also the measures taken for 3G licenses, although a bit late also again, I think in 3G award. But I think we moved as Albania very quick, so in less than 2 years, I think we have already granted 3 licenses for 3G. And also our focus has been and will also be to improve the consumer information regarding broadband services, because I think one of the main problems or the main factors to promote broadband is to raise the awareness of consumers of the benefits of broadband. And this is not only by part of the regulator, but also from operators, government, everyone to raise the awareness of benefits of this of broadband access subscription at home.
Yes, you have to raise awareness because they don't know how to use it. I mean, the younger people always do. But the older ones, I'm not so sure.
It's a vicious circle, as the European Commission has mentioned. It goes like more government services, everything online. And I think on this, from AKEP, I think is Shortly will be introduced a service for a portal for online applications, so all application for authorizations and all data submitted to ECAP will be very soon provided only online. So this will be more incentive for the operators to provide or to use this broadband service, online services, and who more than the ISPs or telecommunication operators should use the online services rather than the other businesses.
Okay, very good idea. Mr. Blatz.
Thank you, Yanis. You spoke about evolution and revolution. The last time I saw revolution was the mobile broadband story back in several years back, the 3G. Today I'm afraid we have only evolution. The truth is, technology never sleeps. Every company, every big organization, they have a number of technicians working every day to make technology more efficient, to make technology better, and in effect to improve the end products for the end consumer. Now, the latest trend in mobile technology that AMC is working on is the so-called 4G LTE, the latest fourth generation networks that have been launched throughout the world with great success, I would say. AMC's parent company, Deutsche Telecom, has launched in 5 countries, last of them being Greece yesterday. And we as AMC, we're working on our infrastructure, we're preparing our core network to accept the access network for 4G if and when it comes, when spectrum becomes available. But today, what we have is we have 3.5G, we have HSPA+, which is the latest technology in all non-4G countries. And this brings speeds of up to 42%. We're working very hard in deploying fully, covering the whole country with 3.5G, so with HSPA+. We've reached 96% population coverage up to now after 1 year of deployment. And the good thing is that we see huge acceptance from consumers. Our data usage has been trebled in 1 year. These are significant numbers. So we've increased by 200% in 1 year. These are amazing numbers, and we're very happy with this. So this is the technology we're deploying. We're working on LTE. Whenever it comes, we're going to be ready. And also we're working on our infrastructure to make it all IP, because at one point in time we'll enter the society of communication, rich communication, and all this, and you really need superior infrastructure to deliver this to the end consumer. So this is what we're working on.
Very good, very good. Mr. Mara.
Yanis, if I can add to that a little bit, I think as Vodafone, we obviously focusing on technology, and as you know, we absolutely implemented 3G, the first in the country, and we paid 32 million euros for that. And if we can do it again, we'll do it again, because I think the impact of 3G in Albania took the country to a different level. I think we've got different challenges, and I think on the technologies, and we can talk LTE and what the companies are doing on LTE, but I think we can still do a huge amount of work on the current technologies we've got in country, and that is also doing applications on the current technologies. And the big driver for us is the usage of really 3G technologies and data on mobile. And a big barrier for us is the technology is there, the applications are there. We're building on this, but the problem is your penetration of smartphones and your barrier of entry in the market, the real penetration is still a challenge. And I'm saying is, yes, we can develop technologies, we can jump on every technology in the world, but maybe that's not the perfect thing to do in countries. I mean, it's timing. When do you launch these technologies? Yes, you have to identify the needs of the customer. And as a customer-focused organization, we identify the needs of the customer, and we actually predict what the customers will do, and we push those needs forward. For us, a big challenge as a company is really to get, on our network, we've got 200,000 smartphones in the market. And that is a problem. You can have 3G, 95% of the population covering the whole country, only 200,000 people having access to a 3G phone. So I'm saying is, and that's what we are using, our big power through Vodafone to actually see if we can really push the manufacturers and the suppliers of smart devices to acceptable levels. Now, if you look at the current smartphone price, is about 63 euros a phone, and we have to get that down to under 30 euros. And that's what I saw in Africa, and that's what we're seeing in Africa. You know, when really GPRS and edge penetration wasn't huge, we got the phones then down to a $15 phone, and suddenly saw a huge uptake and a total acceptance of their technology and application. So for me, as yes, we are we customer focused, we technology focused. I think a key thing for us as a country is also to make sure that we stay with the rest of the world. I think what happens in developing emerging countries is you catch up quite quickly with normal 2G technology, you put 3G in, you stay with the rest of the world, and then there's a chance where you have to really make sure you stay with the rest of the world to make sure we can compete on every aspect of the business. So technology, smart investment, drive demand and create demand in a way from a customer point of view.
That's the key word, create demand.
Yes.
It's cultivate and create demand. Mr. Truscu, please.
Hi everyone. So technology cycle is quickly. Everything in technology is changing at a very fast speed. Okay. My colleagues already mentioned about mobile technologies, all those kind of things, and we need to also keep in mind that all those technologies are coming with their threats. So, like over the top is one of the main threats. If we can change that threat into opportunity, it will be a really success story for everyone. Of course, network is a value, so you cannot get the same benefits from over-the-top services, but right now, Viber has more than 50 million customers. Skype all over the places. Tango, maybe next day Mango. So there are these kind of services all over the places. But technology is changing very fast, and that means we need to invest, and the right balance is extremely important here. So how much you will invest, what is the return? Then at one point, and I see so many places that this is one of the risks in telecom sector. It might be lack of confidence of investors, also return on the investment. So that means we have to be very careful about that. So mobile is already mentioned. I would like to focus more on the fixed side. So we are now working on data center services to offer this kind of services, especially to enterprises. As Mr. Dimitri pointed out, the data usage is really skyrocketing. So what's going to happen? So you will have very good 3G coverage, but if there's a crowded area, can your 3G coverage really respond that demand? We are working also on Wi-Fi coverage, so that it will compensate or offload some of the 3G loads onto Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi really offers really good speed, good quality. And the other thing is, it's all about enriching the customer's life. So far, what we see in terms of TV services, TV is actually controlling you. Whenever you want to watch something, you need to be there at the time when it starts. So we would like to change it. We are significantly right now investing on that one. So we are also investing right now on TV services. Those are the areas that right now we are focusing on.
Okay. So, invest toujours?
What was the question?
The major question, it's not the question. The major question is the first one. Okay.
Okay, well, we have a different perspective on this. We believe that supply has outpaced demand at this point in time, and we can hear people talking about 4G, and very soon they'll talk about 5G and 6G, and I can see that you can have a very successful strategy by offering a very good 2.5G. So the point I'd like to make here is that the killer app, to my vision, is still offering good voice and data. I'm thinking also in rural areas
And from my perspective, I think that's where the evolution should come from.
And the last one.
Thank you, Mr. Yanis. I represent here Upcom. Upcom is today one of the biggest alternative operators on the market. We are speaking now for innovation, and innovation is in the very focus of Upcom. We have deployed state-of-the-art technology, which is HFC, which makes us able to provide triple play services in one cable. And this technology has been able to provide us all the means to offer very, let's say, very good services to our customers. Actually speaking, we have done a very big investment on these technologies. Today we are marketing 100 megabit to the home, which is, let's say, a new product, which is, let's say, brings down many barriers on the capacity, on offering high capacity to the customers directly at their homes. Also, there has been many investments on our digital TV platform because we offer today more than 25 HD channels, high definition channels, and also 3D channels, which this technology makes available to be offered to our customers. We are quite, let's say, quite sure that this capturing needs and it is very open to innovation and to the latest technologies. And our focus is on providing more services. And actually, we are working on OTT, on over-the-top television, which is quite an interesting service to make use of such huge capacities, of such a big amount of bandwidth to the customer. And this service we have tried also on the festival, on the Magic Song Festival, which were used to transmit live to every computer, to every tablet, all the festival. Also, we are, let's say, our platforms and our investments on the television, on digital television, also make possible to provide video on demand services, which are, let's say, services are the latest state-of-the-art services in order to make everybody more close to their events, to their channels, to their programming, what I can say is that Upcom is very committed to innovation, and it's providing through all the investments that we are doing the latest, let's say, technologies and the latest product on the technology.
Yes, yes. At what cost? This one. You offer this one to the people at what cost? I mean, 100 megabit, yes, it's at
Yes.
what cost?
Yes, the cost is tailored to the residential market, and of course there are challenges on this market. We are speaking for a market with a low GDP compared with European Union. Also, there are many challenges on bundling these services, bundling these products, because you can provide this high capacity, but what is going to pass over there?
Yes.
So it is quite a challenge to bundle it with TV services, with streaming, online streaming, over-the-top TV, and all these other services.
So you found this solution to have a more, let's say, good for the people, better for the people offer.
Yes, we are trying to provide a good cost for the service that we are providing.
Okay. So that leads me to the next question, because we are all living in the economic and social crisis. It's all over Europe. It's not only Europe, it's a global phenomenon. Every country and every enterprise is getting affected, one way or the other. We are all short of means. How this common problem affects your investments and plans for the future? Are there any delays, any postponements, or even cancellations of your plans? Let's start from the other side now. Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Black.
Yes, the crisis today is a common word that we hear on everybody's mouth, spoken many times. We see today many figures provided by a regulator, provided by companies, and the figures show that the country might be facing a crisis, but in the telecommunication side, the crisis, let's say, it's not so obvious. Mm-hmm. It's not very harsh. The crisis seems to be in the people's minds, and
only, or to their wallets also.
To the minds and the wallets, but of course the wallet always seems
even if they have mobile wallets.
Of course, their wallet seems to have yet space and to have yet, let's say, some reserve for telecommunication services, and this is let's say, this is good, and we see that the penetration numbers and also the opportunities on this market are quite big. Being let's say low numbers on the penetration provide let's say good reasons for provide an opportunity. This opportunity is very, let's say, interesting for the investors, for the operators, and that's what operators are doing. Operators are investing. We don't intend, or we don't have any, let's say, any cancellation of the or postponement of the investments. All our investments are now in, let's say, in the peak. We are trying to invest more, to put more, let's say, services, mm-hmm. and also this 100 megabit service that we are providing today. It's a, let's say, high-level service. It's a high RPU service. The payment for that is it's not small, but we have offered it in the belief that there are users, there are requests from the market to use such services, and we have to keep in mind that the new generation is growing, let's say, growing with the technology. You can't even imagine many years ago to have a tablet, or the kids to have a tablet, or to have a smartphone. All of this today is technology, and technology is evolving very fast. We would see today also many technologies that were dreams, that we would see in films, in future films that are very futuristic films, that are, things that are happening extremely fast. So, of course, crisis is a big word, is a word is in vogue today, but we in Albania we feel and we see that there is a lot of space to invest and to grow our, let's say, to grow customers and to promote ICT. Mm-hmm. And this is quite interesting.
Back in the 70s, when I was young, the best thing I had was a Walkman cassette.
So you were lucky.
No, yeah, but it's very, very different from the ones they have my children right now. Okay, please.
Okay, yeah, so for us, we grew something like 300% year on year. So whilst we keep a very close eye to the macroeconomic factors, we certainly cannot afford to postpone or cancel any of our investments. So crisis is here, but I should say that it doesn't alter our plan, since we are enjoying such a strong growth.
Okay. So in order to address problems, first we need to accept that there are problems, okay? So I think there is crisis, and we need to take actions for those kind of things. One of the things is to work on the cost. And it is actually not only for Albania again, like all over the world, all over especially in telecom sector.
That's a common problem.
For example, one simple thing for cost is printing and invoice delivery cost. So we can all work together. Right now, we are all talking about internet penetration, all those kind of things, but still the online invoices are not accepted. So in Albania. So we need to focus on those kind of things where it helps all operators, from alternative operators to mobile operators, to save some cost. These are extremely important things. There are, of course, several risks. Like if you look at telecom industry, the industry is changing from minutes to bytes. So right now, more people are talking about bytes, not about minutes. So if we disengage ourselves from changing customer mindset, that might be also a major risk for all of us. Like we need to understand customer, and we need to offer them the services that they really need with good prices and all those kind of things. And here also the sharing is an important issue, we invested highly in infrastructure, especially fiber infrastructure, and we are sharing with all kind of operators with a very reasonable price. So I think that is one of the keys that helps all operators to run their services efficiently.
And if I can add to that as well, I think if you look at Europe, obviously we're in a bit of a crisis, but if you look at Albania still, you're seeing it doesn't matter what figure you look at. You look at the government figure or the IMF figure, but there's still a little bit of growth in GDP and in the country, which is positive. So really for me there's a positive side to it. I think we must have a forward-looking type of a view on this strategic wise. I think a challenge for us is definitely for me as I've got two challenges obviously, to invest in the country and to really drive a capex investment. And we're looking at about a 30 million euro investment this year as well. But what you see is definitely your bigger shareholder or the shareholders are putting pressure on your capex intensity for that year. So where we could invest 19% or 22% of total turnover into a country in a year, they're really putting pressure on that. So it comes back to smart investment again. It really comes back to from an organizational point of view, to really invest in the things that make sense. That means make a quick return on investment. That means really driving a return. So I'm saying is, and that puts pressure on us as a company and as organizations to really focus now on business planning and really forecasting your business cases that you put out there. So what you're seeing in big organizations is there's much more focus on the mid to medium term type of scenarios that you put out there, with really good scenario planning on high roads and low roads. And the challenge for me then from an external point of view is, remember, I'm competing here with all four of these operators very hard, but I'm also competing to get capital into the country. So I'm competing really with India, with Turkey, the countries that are growing at the moment at tremendous pace. So when I stand and motivate capex investment, I go out there to the shareholders and say, listen guys, invest in Albania because this is it. It's still positive. Southern Europe, we're still growing. We're still seeing very good returns on investment. But I am competing with the international markets. And there it's very key that your regulatory framework in the country is very good. That your government is really supporting technology, which is also positive. And that you've got a little bit of a positive growth rate in the country. And that helps me selling and actually competing with other growth countries. And are we postponing things? I mean, that's the question. No, we're not postponing. But are we getting 20% capex intensity on turnover this year back into the network? No, we're not. So we have to obviously be very smart in technology investment. And we have to be, you get two operators. You get a low-cost operator that falls apart on service and quality at the end of the day. And then you get a smart-cost operator that's the new generation operator, where you have to be smart in cost, smart in investment. And that's where we're sitting here, and even the operators are now looking at things like, can we share sites, can we share security, can we really consolidate some of our network to make sure that the quality and the investment that we push back into the country relates to a quality service to the consumer. And that's the key thing that we as even CEOs sitting at this on this floor should actually agree to, and we're working on that. So it's being smart.
Okay.
Yanis, you know what? I had a Sony Walkman myself.
You Sony Walkman?
Yes, and not at nursery school. No. It says a lot about our age, I guess. Us too. Okay. Crisis. Everybody's afraid of crisis, and rightly so. And crisis is in the Eurozone, especially in the southern part of Europe, and also in the countries related to the southern part of Europe. And unfortunately, Albanian economy is closely related to Italy and to Greece, mainly to Greece. Now, we don't know when it's going to end, okay? And as far as I'm concerned, the problem in the Eurozone is a structural problem. And as a structural problem, it cannot be solved. It needs different things to be solved. It needs new design right from the start. So for me, the solution to the crisis is a political decision. Now, this political decision is bound to be taken, for sure, otherwise the Eurozone will go down. Is it going to be taken tonight, where the Eurogroup is taking place? Maybe.
This time?
Yes. Is it going to be taken in September 2013, after the German elections? Maybe, we don't know. Is there anybody German here? Don't quote me on that, please. Because my bosses are German.
Elections has no country.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay. Now, in any case, we are optimists, and we believe crisis will end. Now, it's a matter of time. So, under no circumstances, we're stopping our investment. We are rationalizing our expenses, but that's a totally different thing. And we do this because we have an awful lot of stakeholders that we have to protect. Not only the bosses in Bonn, or in Athens, or the shareholders, okay? We also have other stakeholders like the employees. So in order for us to keep the employees, we have to be profitable. And this is, like this, we have to rationalize our expenses. But under no circumstances, we are stopping any investment whatsoever. We're enhancing it. I spoke about this before, so I don't think I'll duplicate what I just said regarding 3G and all that. So the answer is, in a nutshell, we are not stopping anything. We're going forward.
You go on, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Please.
I think it's good news, like hearing from the operators.
That's good news, yes. That's good news.
That's they keep investing and will invest in Albania. And from ACAP as a regulator, and also from the government, I think our main role as a regulator is to create, or let's say, to reduce these risks that the operators might face during their investments. So maybe preparing the necessary or the adequate regulatory framework in order to reduce as much as possible this risk, because higher risk, of course, the operators will require higher returns for their investments. As I mentioned, there's some measures taken already from ACAP, but also we'll continue on taking measures also to know the difficulties that the operators are facing for their investments. As I know, it's a project for rights of way, for example, law to be prepared. The government and ministry might give more details, which is one of the aspects that the operators in Albania also refer as one of the main problems for investing, especially from the fixed operators rather than mobile operators. So that's, let's say, like reducing the risks for the investors while they're having this willingness to invest in Albania, because lower risk, lower expectation or returns.
Yes, that's right. So what will the Foundation Society do to keep the fire running?
I'm really surprised to see so much, and it's great, optimism from the biggest operator, and perhaps it's a realism. It's not like this, that in time of the crisis women spend more in the shops. I think that it's not like this. And I think that it's okay, it's good. Jens is saying that the confidence of the Albanian consumers is high on ICT products, and a lot of commitments from the company to advance in the technology change, in offering the new technology solutions and new technology goods. But just very friendly suggestion. Don't forget that in this country, the main client of ICT is the government. So please try to convince the government how much money we would like to spend for you guys, if you want really the money. And I think that you are for the money on the market. So we have to talk on this, because ICT projects are wonderful, but needs commitments to see the good results on this. It's easy to convince somebody, as citizens, with a new smartphone and with a new technology, 3G or 4G, telling in the new application the speed of the data, the speed of the thing, something that the other friends can never reach and he can reach with this solution. But this is just one part of the market. The other part is huge government, public institution, is education system, is health system, and we really want to benefit from the ICT solutions. We are not just driving through the new technology after technology. We need the technology which can work. We need application which can really demonstrate the advantage for developing, proper managing our public resources, managing our public institution. Doesn't matter that it is 4G or it is 3G or it is GSM, if it is working properly and with a good cost, not high cap and the others, it's good. So let's work on this. It's very important, and this is healthy for the economy. Albania has not been influenced so much from the crisis based on all the factors that are mentioned here, based on the good policy and fast-growing reforms. But nobody can ensure that later on we will be not affected from the crisis. So let's be prepared and let's be wise and invest the public money and the private money, Albanian money and foreign money in the right way, in the right solutions and in the right places. Let's talk on this and let's find the best way on this. I think that it will be a wonderful opportunity to find this win-win solution between us and the private sector. Thank you.
Thank you.
From my point of view, I want to see that the biggest customers from the operators will be the citizens, rather than the government on the other side. We can see here for mobile operators, two main fixed line operators offering their infrastructure and their bandwidth, and they're waiting for OTT service, OTT providers. So now we have two major OTT providers that unfortunately are not here sitting, but how can we find a way, an efficient way, of matching these main OTT providers to the demands of the fixed line operators and mobile operators in order to provide those services over their networks? And I see this cooperation that will be cost beneficial for both parties, because they'll have more services, bundled services, in a most cost efficient way presented to the final customers. And on the OTT side, they're gonna focus more on the content rather than on their own network and distributing it all over the country. We have four major players, four mobile operators doing that for them. So I think there should be some convergence in terms of this kind of services. And on the other side, I expect more from the mobile operators, because the latest trends, especially presented last month at the ITU Telecom World Conference in Dubai, was mobile, mobile, mobile. So the future is going to be in mobile. So, and then we see 3G taking a big advantage. We see 4G, which, it takes new investments. It will lower the OPEX of the networks. And I'm glad, Dimitris, that you're thinking about LTE right now, because probably, as those people that personally know me, I'm the greatest lobby in the government for 4G. So I want to push that, and thank you for doing it and making this publicly. So, right. But we have one step. One step that we're discussing it. We still need to change the frequency plan, amended to the European 2009. We're in the process, and according to the new law and to existing law, but also new amendments, we have technology neutrality, which means that you have your 3G license and you can use it for either 3G or 4G, if it makes sense for you. But still, it's 4G LTE takes investment in the core network, so that's up to you. But still, that's good news in terms of investment, and thank you for keeping it that way. And I'm very optimistic, and of course the government will support you. I'm glad that AKEP is doing much better in the past 4 years as a regulator. It's getting stronger, and I'm confident that it will get even better. And I see it as the only body in the government that actually will save this balance between the private sector and the government. And of course, your collaboration, it's very beneficial and essential in this process. So, in my point of view, in terms of cost, what I see is a better collaboration between all the players. So I don't think that having one player doing everything on its own is cost effective. There should be collaboration between all the players in order to provide the best services to the customers, regardless their geographical location.
Okay, I have one last question for everybody, which is out of written form. Just a question I've thought right now. If a fairy or a god or a genie or something came to you and asked you about one will, what would you say? What would you ask? Not personal, I mean for the telecom sector. Please.
Oh, I start first.
Yeah, you're the first. Genie came first to you.
Well, what I want to see is what was already mentioned. I want to see the development of local content distributed
local content. Okay.
Distributed throughout the country equally in the same level, in the same quality, and in the same price.
Okay, level, quality, and price. I will send them to Genie afterwards. Okay.
I think the gene is present here, in my opinion. What we really need is what is present here. What we really need is communication, coordination, and cooperation. That's crucial for the success in the telecommunication sector.
Okay.
Okay, I would say much higher speeds for broadband access with, of course, reasonable prices. Because this would push the demand, I think, from the potential subscribers. They're not buying the service at homes, and also have a boost to the data usage of the mobile or even fixed networks, and also lower the unit cost because they have the capacities, and higher usage will lower the unit cost, and of course will go with cheaper prices.
That all Albanians own a smartphone. Like this, I'll be making my bones for years to come.
Okay.
I think linked to that, I think connectivity definitely in the youth segment. I think if you look at Albania, we're sitting with a very young population, and I think it's absolutely key for the future of the country to get the kids educated and developed, and the quicker they can get. Remember, today we're providing information. It's how do you get access to the information, because how you study goes through that. So connectivity for the full kids sector and the youth sector in the country to really drive development throughout the country.
Okay, so that's good.
Actually, right now, Albania is a very good condition in terms of like all kind of connectivity, data services, and so what else we can ask? What I want is like good treatment in terms of tax and other things, in terms of regulation.
Okay.
Okay, I would ask the ferry. I would tell the ferry, give me a 3G license for €1.
It's a great question. Okay.
The wish as an alternative operator, and I think that all other operators have, let's say, the same wish
This wish is to have a strong, independent and a fair regulator. As an alternative operator, we need that. The market of alternative operators need that.
Okay.
And it's a big wish.
So, local content, coordination, speed, lower cost, smartphones, education, connectivity, 3G one, that's great. €1 and strong independence. That's it. Do you have any question? No? Not at all. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.